The responsive leader, giving and receiving feedback. Now, this is something we can all master to a whole nother level. No matter how skilled you are at giving and receiving feedback, there is another level of depth you can go. And this is a key master skill in being able to have fulfilling and productive relationships. So whether it's personal or it's professional, this is a skill that you can learn, you can develop greater and greater skill at with practice, and nothing replaces practice. So first of all, you need to be willing to make a mistake and admit, oh wow, I could improve. I made a mistake. That's fine. That is part of learning. That's what we're doing on this planet. We're learning how to get more skilled at relating. And underlying, that is love. That is real love. To be able to go deeper into being able to be responsive and to lead and to create really nurturing, really fulfilling, deeply rewarding relationships, and very productive, so you can create and produce together. So that is why it's so important, so you can really get what you want and what you deeply desire, and you can do it in a way that builds you, builds the other, and builds your team. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about something that happened on my team recently, and this is very common on any team, whether it's a personal team or professional team. I had two people who both reached out to me separately because there was a lack of communication on my team. Now, I listened to both of them. Both of them felt very frustrated, upset, not heard, not understood, not appreciated, and that the only way they could get along with that person was to not give them feedback. Well, that does not work on my team, because the reason my team works as well as it does is because people are willing to go through the movement cycle all the way and give people feedback and receive the feedback and move with the feedback. Now, it doesn't really matter who leads being able to be successful at this interaction. It doesn't mean if it's the person who's in charge of the structure or the person who's fitting into the structure. Who doesn't? Because who's ever most skilled will lead. And I am always training you to go first in leadership, because you are developing your leadership skills if you go first. If you're waiting for somebody else to go first to lead, you will might be waiting a very long time. And if you want things to move quicker and for you to work together faster, then you need to choose to lead. Now, both of them approached me separately with their upset, and obviously, from my perspective, they both had the same issue because they both felt the same way. They both felt they had tried everything possible and that they just couldn't make it work. So I listened to each one of them and I trained them. And I'm like, this is what I see as your part in this relationship. Now, you didn't fully receive. You didn't fully make sure the other person felt received. And you didn't look at what you needed to do to reach the other person. And this isn't by giving in or giving up, but it's staying in relationship to let me give you a direction as to if you want me to lead. If I want to lead, how can I reach you? How can I speak to you in a way that you felt absolutely cared for and you're very clear on what my feedback is? And how can you receive the other person so they felt that you had fully received them? Now, it's not that they hadn't tried. They tried for over an hour and phone calls together. They really tried. They just couldn't do it. Not yet. Not until a third party came in, which happened to be me. And this is why you do need mentoring, is often you can try as much as you can on your own and you just hit a wall of how much you can do. But then once you get an outside perspective, which was my perspective, say, one, I fully received both of them. I really understood what happened for each one of them. I really understood how the other person was reacting to what they were saying and the way they were saying it. And I modeled what they would need to do to actually lead, being able to be responsive by giving and receiving feedback. So once they had the clarity based on they felt received by me and they had the model of how to lead, then they were both able to go back and complete whatever they hadn't completed before, which was both of them feeling understood, both of them feeling appreciated, and both being absolutely committed to doing their part all the way through. And they both needed to re-choose, do they want to be on the team with this person? Because obviously it brings up a challenge area in both of them. Now, whatever you don't complete in one relationship, you will find the exact same pattern all over again in another relationship. So they both chose. Now, it didn't matter that one went first. It didn't matter who went first. They both still had to choose, I want to work with this person, and I continually have these same patterns show up with this person. And I'm still choosing to work with them, and I'm going to learn how to be a better leader. So because they were both willing individually to look at their part and really listen to the other person and how they were modeled to be spoken to with their tone, with their energy, with their language, all of that played a part in them being able to be successful. And they both were successful. So I am recommending, highly recommending, that you take one relationship where there's friction, where there's real friction, and make a choice. Do you want to learn to lead? Or do you want to keep blaming the other person for what they can't do with you? And that is a choice to make. Now, once you make that choice, I am committed to learning this skill here in this relationship, then you have the ability to go, okay, now what do I need to do differently? That is the turning point. And then once you do that, then look at what do you need to do differently? How do you need to speak to them differently? How do you need to share with them in a way that your body language, your tone in your voice, your tone that comes from your body, how do you reach them? The leader needs to reach out to really reach the other person's body. And that takes practice. That's why I continue giving you all the movement practices, all the inner rhythms, meditation practices, all the embodied leadership practices that we do together. This is where you have the tools right with you to learn these skills. And the tools actually will take you to the skills. You've got to choose if you want to use them or not, if you want to learn this or not, and if you're ready to learn it right now. Now, if you're ready to learn it, go practice. Go practice with the person you're having the biggest communication friction with, and choose. Are you going to get really good at this and really good at leading? And I guarantee you, The result is you won't keep having the same problem once you learn the skill. So I'm encouraging you to do it. I thank you for your courage and your consistent commitment to really building yourself as a responsive leader and being able to give and receive feedback in an effective way. All right. Look forward to hearing all of your experiences and your new level of skill. Okay. So much love. Keep going, everyone.